The night the sky answered. I used to believe that the universe was silent. Not empty, just quiet. Like a vast ocean holding its breath. That belief died on August 17th, 2014, at exactly 2:41 a.m. I remember the time because my phone froze on it. No signal. No movement. No sound. Just 2:41 a.m. My name is Daniel Carter, and until that night, I was an ordinary man living an ordinary life in a town nobody remembers unless something goes wrong. The town was called Gray Hollow, Nevada. Population 3,182. Surrounded by desert. Ignored by highways. Forgotten by time. Or so we thought. Gray Hollow was the kind of place where nights were darker than they should be. No city glow.
No noise.
Just wind brushing against sand and the distant hum of power lines. I worked as a night radio technician for a small local station, KGH 109. Nothing glamorous. Mostly dead air, old music, and emergency alerts that never came. That night, I was alone in the station. At 2:37 a.m., the signal began to distort. At first, I thought it was equipment failure. Static rolled in waves, slow and rhythmic, almost deliberate. The kind of interference you don't hear anymore. Then the lights flickered.
Once. Twice.
And then everything went silent.
No. No static.
No wind. Silence, so complete it made my ears ring. I stood up from my chair, my skin prickling. The digital clock above the console froze at 2:41 a.m. That's when the frequency opened. A sound came through the speakers, low, vibrating, not quite noise and not quite language. It wasn't random. It had structure. The air in the room felt heavier, like pressure before a storm. My chest tightened as if something unseen had entered the space with me. Then the voice came. Not human. Not mechanical. It didn't speak English or any language I recognized, but somehow I understood it. You are being observed. I stumbled back, nearly tripping over a cable.
No. Y whispered.
This isn't real. The voice continued, calm and emotionless. Your location is suitable. The speakers crackled violently. Papers lifted from the desk, fluttering as if pulled by invisible hands. I reached for the emergency shutoff. It didn't respond. Do not resist. That's when the windows lit up. A pale blue glow flooded the room, cold and unreal. I turned toward the glass and felt my stomach drop. Something hovered above Gray Hollow. Something massive. The object had no wings.
No visible engines. No markings.
Just a smooth, metallic surface reflecting the desert stars, except the stars around it were missing. The sky looked torn. The craft moved silently, effortlessly, defying everything I thought I knew about physics. And it was descending, directly toward the town. Outside, car alarms began to scream. Dogs howled in panic. The ground trembled, not violently, but enough to feel wrong. Then my phone vibrated in my pocket. No bars. No service. Yet a message appeared. Unknown sender. They have been here before. My hands shook as another message followed. And they never left. I didn't know it then, but Gray Hollow had just become the center of something far older and far more dangerous than aliens. We weren't being invaded. We were being reclaimed. And I was the first one who heard them speak. Chapter 2. The Town That Went Quiet. The first thing that disappeared in Gray Hollow wasn't electricity. It was sound. By 2:58 a.m., the dogs had stopped barking. The alarms had gone silent. Even the wind seemed afraid to move. I stood at the radio station window, watching the object hover above the town, and felt something crawl up my spine, the instinctive knowledge that once a place goes quiet like that, it never truly recovers. The craft didn't land. It aligned. That's the only word that fits. It rotated slowly, deliberately, as if matching itself to something buried beneath the desert. A low-frequency vibration pulsed through the ground, subtle but powerful enough to rattle the glass. My radio console flickered back to life. New frequencies appeared on the screen, dozens of them, none matching any known band. They were stacked, layered on top of each other like a cord. Then the voice returned. Phase 1 is complete. I grabbed a handheld recorder from the desk and pressed record, my hands trembling. Who are you? I asked, my voice barely steady. The response came instantly. We are not singular. The lights dimmed again, and a sharp pain exploded behind my eyes. Images flooded my mind, not visions but memories. Not mine. I saw Gray Hollow 50 years ago. The town was smaller then. Fewer houses. Dirt roads. A military convoy cutting through the desert at dawn. Men in unmarked uniforms. Crates marked with symbols I didn't recognize. A drilling platform in the middle of nowhere. And something buried deep beneath the ground. Waiting. I dropped to my knees, gasping. This town, I whispered. What did you do to it? The voice paused, the first sign of hesitation. This location was prepared by your species. Cold dread settled in my stomach. You mean the government? Yes. The screens around me glitched, briefly displaying symbols, geometric, precise, ancient. You were never meant to discover us. Before I could respond, headlights appeared outside. Military vehicles. They came fast and quiet, black SUVs, armored trucks, a mobile command unit.
No sirens. No insignia.
The U.S. government had arrived in under 20 minutes, which meant one thing. They were already watching. Armed soldiers poured into the streets, forming a perimeter around the town. Drones buzzed overhead, their red lights blinking against the blue glow of the craft. Through binoculars I kept by the window, I saw residents being pulled from their homes, confused, half asleep, terrified. Some resisted, some screamed, and some didn't come out at all. At 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Unknown sender. Do not trust them. Another message followed immediately. They know less than they claim. I swallowed hard. Who's sending this? I asked aloud. The voice answered, softer now. A remnant. What does that mean? Those who were left behind. A knock echoed through the station door. Hard.
Precise.
Daniel Carter, a man shouted. This is the United States Air Force. Open the door now. I froze. The voice spoke one final time before cutting off. You have been selected. The speakers went dead. The lights stabilized. The craft above the town vanished, not upward, not sideways, simply gone, as if reality had closed around it. Silence returned. Then chaos erupted. They took me in cuffs. Black hood over my head.
No explanations.
I was transported to a temporary facility set up just outside town. Floodlights, tents, generators humming nonstop. Inside, I saw things the news would later call a routine military exercise. That was a lie. People were missing. At least 37, by my count. Families separated. Houses sealed. Areas marked with red tape and strange symbols. And beneath it all, fear, not panic, but controlled terror. The kind professionals feel when they realize they are outmatched. A woman finally spoke to me. Mid-40s.
Calm. No uniform.
Mr. Carter, she said, sitting across from me. My name is Dr. Evelyn Moore. She slid a tablet across the table. On it was a map of Gray Hollow, and beneath it, a second map. Something massive lay under the town. Circular.
Perfect.
Ancient. We didn't find it, she said quietly. It found us. I met her eyes. They're coming back, I said. She didn't deny it. Instead, she asked the question that changed everything. What did they show you? Outside, the desert began to hum again.
Low.
Rhythmic. Patient. Chapter 3. Those Who Never Came Back. They told the media that Gray Hollow was experiencing a temporary communications blackout caused by a classified military exercise. That explanation lasted exactly 6 hours. After that, nothing more was said.
No interviews.
No press conferences. No names. Just silence. Inside the containment zone, time behaved differently. Not slower, wrong. Clocks drifted. Digital watches reset themselves. Some devices refused to function at all. Mine showed 2:41 a.m. again. Always 2:41. I was placed in a temporary holding unit, reinforced trailer with padded walls and a single observation window. They took my phone, my recorder, even my watch. But they couldn't take what I'd seen. Dr. Evelyn Moore visited me every 4 hours. Always alone. Always calm. "You're not in trouble, Daniel," she said during her second visit. "You're valuable." "That's not comforting," I replied. She almost smiled. The missing count had risen to 52 by sunrise.
No bodies.
No signs of struggle. No blood. Entire families vanished from locked homes. One house still had coffee steaming on the kitchen table. Another had a child's shoes neatly placed by the door, as if someone had planned to return. They never did. At 10:13 a.m., they allowed me to observe from the command tent. A massive holographic display hovered above a metal table, projecting a three-dimensional image of Gray Hollow and what lay beneath it. The structure underground was larger than the town itself. Perfectly circular.
Smooth.
Not a ship. A node. Dr. Moore spoke quietly, as if the thing beneath us could hear. This was installed here approximately 12,000 years ago. I turned to her sharply. Installed by who? She hesitated. Not visitors, she said. Occupants. That's when they showed me the footage. Recovered from an old military archive, grainy black and white film dated 1961. A drilling operation in the desert. Engineers laughing. Soldiers smoking cigarettes. Then the drill bit struck something solid. The laughter stopped. The ground began to vibrate. And the camera caught something impossible. The sand moving upward. Not collapsing. Rising. The footage ended in static. "They woke it up," I whispered. Dr. Moore nodded. "And last night," she said, "it woke us." The first survivor returned at noon. Her name was Lydia Perez, age 29. She reappeared in the middle of Main Street, standing, unharmed, eyes wide open. But she wasn't breathing. Medics rushed to her. Her heart was beating. Her brain activity was abnormal. "She's alive," one of them said. "But she's not here." They brought her into the medical tent. I watched from behind glass as Lydia suddenly sat up. Her eyes locked onto mine through the window. Her mouth opened, and a voice came out that was not hers. "The exchange is incomplete." Every screen in the tent flickered. "Some of you will remain." Lydia's body convulsed violently, then went limp. Flatline. The monitors went dark. Panic rippled through the command center. Orders were shouted. Weapons raised, as if bullets would matter. Dr. Moore grabbed my arm. "They're testing us," she said. "Learning." "Learning what?" "How much resistance costs." That night, I dreamed while awake. I saw the node activate, light traveling through tunnels beneath the earth, connecting distant points across the planet. Other towns, other deserts, other forgotten places. All linked, all waiting. A network. At 2:41 a.m., the humming returned. This time, it came from below. The ground beneath Gray Hollow began to open, not cracking, not breaking, unfolding. And somewhere deep in the darkness, something ancient recognized me. "Observer Daniel Carter." The voice echoed inside my mind. "Your species is approaching a threshold." I whispered, "What happens if we cross it?" There was no immediate answer. Only this. Continuation is not guaranteed.